The purpose of research method is to give logical answers to specific questions which give us some knowledge about some part of reality. This knowledge should have a meaningful sense that aims to an unknown knowledge. This one has to be verifiable in order to have a scientific meaning. Research is reflected in the qualitative and quantitative aspect. This one is used in the correlative research. It means that works in the collections of data to prove hypotheses based in a numeric measure. Its purpose is to show behavior patterns. The correlational research purpose is to know the relationship and the degree of association of two or more concepts, categories, or variables in a specific context. As I said, the purpose of correlational research is based on the natural relationship between two or more variables. In correlational research, each participant is measured on two different dependent variables. We have advantages. For example, we can predict outcomes if we know how they are related, or disadvantages. We cannot be used to determine cause and effect. Scales of measurements in the correlational research. The three main scales of measurements are ratio scale, ordinal, and nominal scale. We're going to start with the first one, ratio scale. This scale includes an absolute zero and provides equal intervals. In this scale, we have fixed origin or 0 point as opposed to an arbitrary origin. The second scale is ordinal. We use it to indicate rank order. This scale distinguishes objects or events from one another on the basis of the relative amounts of some characteristic they possess. Attributes can be ordered. Nominal scale identifies the categories into which objects, individuals, or events may be classified. For example, a newborn infant as male or female, or people as single, married, or divorced, or blood type as either A, B, or O. Data is not rankable. You cannot say that single rank higher or lower than married. This is an example of nominal scale. In this graphic, you can see divided two different groups, male or female, and the number of students of each one. An important characteristic of correlational research are that answer three questions. For example, is there a relationship between two variables? If the answer is yes, so you have to answer the following two questions. What is the direction of the relationship? What is the magnitude? We use the statistical value as a measure of association. As example, we can say that minus 1, 2 plus 1 is a value ranging. This relationship is expressed in a quantitative form. The coefficient is represented by the symbol R. There are two kinds of correlation, positive and negative. Positive is when the two variables fluctuate in the same direction. Negative, it is when one variable increases but the other decreases. Okay, here you can see an example of interpret correlation coefficient. In the first picture, you can see an example of negative correlation. This means that every time x increases and y decreases. In the middle picture is an example of no association. And on the right picture is an example of positive correlation. This means that y increases with x. Another important characteristic of correlational research are scatter diagrams. We use it to understand the behavior of a process, to see if two factors have a relationship, and to visually show correlation between two factors. On the right picture, you can see examples about the scatter diagram. Characteristic, for example, it determines the two factors to compare, plots the scatter diagram, identifies the purpose, collects the data, and identifies the measure. In this picture, you can see examples about degrees of correlation and types of correlation. In types of correlation, you will see positive, negative, curved, and partial correlation. It's important to mention this kind of characteristic of correlational research when we talk about linearity or curvilinearity. The first one is the straight line drawn through the points on the scatter diagram, like the previous examples. Curvilinearity, as you can see on the right side, on the right picture, is when line through the points on the scatter diagrams goes from low to high or change directions. They can go down and then up, or up and then down. As we can see, correlational research is an important tool in the field of researches. It is a scientific method for knowing the real thing of life. Thank you very much.